Air pollution, causes and solutions. Air quality, often taken for granted, is a crucial aspect of our environment that directly impacts human health and the ecosystem. To breathe is to live, and what we breathe matters immensely. Imagine air as a complex cocktail, a blend of various gases, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, with a sprinkle of other elements and compounds. When this delicate balance is disrupted by pollutants, air quality deteriorates, leading to what we commonly refer to as air pollution. This invisible enemy arises from various sources, with effects ranging from the mildly irritating to the severely hazardous. Now, what tickles your nose and makes your eyes water when you're stuck in traffic? The answer, quite literally in the air, is pollutants. The most immediate human health response to air pollution is often eye and respiratory irritation. These irritants, often minute particles and gases, can cause discomfort and more severe health issues over time. Picture walking through a smoggy city street. It's not just an inconvenience. It's a health hazard. But where does all this pollution come from? Let's play detective and track down these culprits. Air pollution sources are as diverse as they are numerous. They range from the cars we drive, emitting a cocktail of gases and particulates, to industrial smokestacks, belching out various pollutants. Even seemingly benign activities, like farming, contribute to air pollution through fertilizer-enriched runoff, a sneaky non-point source that affects air quality indirectly through water and soil. The quest to control air pollution is a bit like a complex puzzle. It starts with identifying the pollutants. Knowing what we're dealing with is half the battle. Then comes pinpointing the major sources of these pollutants. This step is akin to finding the villains in a detective story. Once identified, the challenge shifts to implementing strategies to meet air pollution standards. This process is not just a local or national issue, it's a global challenge, requiring international cooperation and agreements to effectively limit air pollution. Interestingly, one might think that finding cures for diseases caused by air pollutants would be a major step in controlling air pollution. However, while important, it's more of a reactive approach, akin to putting a band-aid on a wound rather than preventing the injury in the first place. Proactive measures, focusing on reduction and prevention, are key to addressing the root cause of the problem. Historically, significant steps have been taken to address air pollution. For instance, the Clean Air Act Amendment of 1990 in the United States marked a pivotal moment. This legislation not only set new standards to reduce automobile emissions, but also established a cap-and-trade program for reducing sulfur dioxide emissions. It's a classic example of combining regulatory measures with market-based incentives to tackle air pollution. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the complexity of this issue. It's not just about coughing in a smog-filled city or the haze obscuring our favorite skyline. Air pollution intertwines with various aspects of our lives, including health, economics, and even social equity. The air pollution puzzle is one that requires a multifaceted approach, considering the intricate interplay of science, policy, and human behavior. Terrestrial biomes and climate. Imagine the Earth as a patchwork quilt, each patch representing a different biome. These biomes are vast regions defined by their distinct climate, soil, flora, and fauna. They range from the icy tundras to the lush rainforests, each with its unique characteristics and charm. But what makes these biomes tick? The answer lies in the interplay between the living, biotic, and non-living, abiotic, components of the environment. It's like a dance where each step, whether it's a leaf falling or a raindrop hitting the soil, influences the entire performance. The forests, a tale of trees and beetles. Forests, for instance, are more than just a collection of trees. They are complex ecosystems where the balance of life can be tipped by tiny actors, like parasitic beetles. These beetles, though small, can wreak havoc in a pine-dominated forest. But fear not, the solution isn't as drastic as reaching for pesticides or planting more pines. It's about diversity. Introducing hardwood trees such as maples and oaks can disrupt the beetle's monopoly, illustrating nature's principle. Diversity is the key to resilience. The biosphere, Earth's living blanket. Now, let's zoom out a bit. The biosphere, a term that might sound like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, is essentially Earth's living blanket. It encompasses all living organisms, including us, and the non-living environment they interact with. Think of it as a planetary-scale web where energy and matter cycle through organisms and their surroundings. It's not just a collection of individual ecosystems but a dynamic, interconnected system where life and environment dance in harmony. Agriculture, the nutrient story. Transitioning to agriculture, let's talk about turning forested land into cropland. It's not just about clearing trees, it's about understanding the soil's story, particularly its nutrients. The most common limiting factor? Nitrogen. This element is like the currency of the soil economy, vital for plant growth but often in short supply. Thus, managing nitrogen levels becomes crucial in transforming forests into fertile farmlands. Tropical biomes, unity in diversity. Finally, let's embark on an imaginary journey to several cities scattered across different continents. Each of these cities, despite their unique cultures and landscapes, shares one significant environmental trait: they are all nestled within the tropical biome. This classification might lead you to assume a similarity in their weather patterns throughout the year. Interestingly, it's not their rainfall or humidity that binds them together but rather their consistent temperatures. In these tropical urban environments, warmth is a steadfast presence, influencing everything from the vibrant activities in the city to the lush, verdant life in the surrounding forests. This uniform warmth across various tropical cities highlights the fascinating way climate shapes not just natural ecosystems but also human life and urban landscapes. Biodiversity, nature's intricate tapestry. Welcome to a journey through the vibrant and intricate world of biodiversity. Imagine biodiversity as a grand, endlessly fascinating puzzle, where every piece, from the tiniest microorganism to the largest blue whale, plays a crucial role. This section delves into the myriad facets of biodiversity, unveiling its mysteries and exploring its far-reaching implications. Biodiversity, a term you've probably heard tossed around in environmental circles, is much more than a buzzword. It's the variety of life in all its forms and interactions. This includes the range of species diversity, the genetic variability within species, genetic diversity, and the assortment of ecosystems and their processes, ecosystem diversity. Think of it as nature's insurance policy, offering resilience and adaptability in the face of changes and challenges. Now, let's take a virtual hike from the equator to the poles. Notice anything interesting about the number of species we encounter along the way? That's right, there's a pattern. As we move towards higher latitudes, from the lush tropics to the stark polar regions, a noticeable trend emerges: the number of species tends to decrease. This phenomenon is fascinating, and scientists have several hypotheses to explain it. One prominent idea is that tropical regions, being older and less disturbed by recent glaciations, have had more time and stability for species to evolve and diversify. On the other hand, polar regions, with their harsher climates and relatively recent colonization by most species, host fewer types of life forms. But biodiversity is not just about counting species, it's also about understanding the connections between them. Imagine a patchwork quilt, where each patch represents a habitat. Now, what if we started connecting these patches with threads of natural corridors? Would the quilt become more diverse? The answer, excitingly, is yes. Research focusing on plants has shown that these corridors, which enable movement between habitat patches, do indeed enhance species diversity. They're like nature's highways, allowing not only animals but also plants, through the movement of seeds and pollinators, to travel, spread, and interact across a wider area. This connectivity fosters a dynamic exchange of genetic material, bolsters populations, and enhances ecosystem resilience. Understanding the factors that affect biodiversity is crucial for conservation efforts. After all, preserving biodiversity isn't just about protecting individual species, it's about maintaining the complex web of life that supports us all. This chapter will not only guide you through the intricacies of biodiversity, but also inspire you to appreciate and contribute to the preservation of this incredible natural wealth. So, as we wrap up our exploration, remember that biodiversity is not just an abstract concept. It's the melody of bird songs at dawn, the dance of leaves in the forest, the unseen microorganisms that keep our soil healthy, and so much more. It's a testament to the beauty and complexity of life on Earth, a reminder of our interconnectedness with nature, and a call to action to ensure its continuity for generations to come. Let's cherish and protect this extraordinary tapestry of life, for in doing so, we safeguard the future of our planet and ourselves. Understanding our aquatic environment. One of the most visible signs of climate change is the rising of sea levels. It's like watching water slowly fill up a bathtub, except it's our planet's coastal areas that are getting soaked. This rise is primarily due to two factors, the melting of ice and the expansion of seawater as it warms. Imagine a world where the polar ice caps, those giant frozen behemoths at Earth's poles, start to melt. While it sounds like a plot from a sci-fi movie, it's actually happening. However, the polar ice cap's contribution to sea level rise is surprisingly less significant compared to other sources. It's a bit like adding a few ice cubes to a glass of water, noticeable, but not as impactful as, say, the melting of Greenland's ice sheet or the collapse of the Antarctic ice shelf. These are the real heavyweights in the sea level rise scenario. When these massive ice bodies surrender to the warmth, they add significantly more water to our oceans, marshes and swamps, navigating the wetland maze. Let's wade a bit into the world of wetlands, specifically marshes and swamps. These ecosystems are nature's own water treatment plants, but they're often confused with each other. The key difference lies in their vegetative tenets. Marshes are like botanical gardens dominated by herbaceous plants, while swamps are the wooded suburbs of the wetland world, dominated by shrubs and trees. Imagine a swamp as a forest that decided to take a permanent bath. These ecosystems are crucial for biodiversity, flood control, and water purification. Water balance coefficient, the scale of water availability. Now, how do we measure the availability of water in a region? Enter the water balance coefficient. It's like a bank account summary for a region's water supply. To calculate it, we look at the rainfall, that's like the income, and then subtract the potential evaporation, the expenses. What's left is the water balance coefficient, a number that tells you whether a region is swimming in water or just getting by. Personal water conservation, every drop counts. Finally, let's talk about how you, yes you, can make a difference in conserving water. You don't need to be a superhero to save water. Small actions can create ripples of change. One of the simplest yet effective ways is fixing dripping faucets. It's like plugging a leak in your wallet, you save water and money. On the other hand, taking longer showers or leaving the tap running while brushing your teeth are water-wasting habits. Think of water as a precious resource, not an unlimited supply. Opt for full loads of laundry, and when washing dishes, make sure the dishwasher is full. These are little steps, but when millions of us do them, it adds up to a significant conservation effort.